Um, in lieu to this, if you haven't taken your test, please endeavor to do so. And like I said, we are not going to take much for the introduction because by 11, the entrepreneur students will be joining us. So OWASP sub 10, number 10, that's the server side request forgery risk. And Mr. Amos is on the call to take us. Mr. Amos, good morning to you. The class is over to you. Mr. Amos, are you there? Mr. Amos?
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, sorry, I guess it could be the mic. I was actually speaking all the while.
All
Good morning,
right.
everyone. It's my pleasure being here again. And as he has rightly said, we'll be looking at the last phase of the OAPS Top 10, which is the category 10 this morning. And like you know, I will always want the class to be participatory. So maybe we can allow a few individuals to unmute their mic so that when there is questions or I want their reaction, I can actually get a response. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly, and we're going to start the class. We're not going to be spending much time in today's class so that other classes can be accommodated as well. Please let me know if you can see my screen. I'll be sharing my screen right away. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All
Good
right.
morning.
Good morning.
Uh,
So we'll be looking at the server side request forgery, which is known as SSRF. That's the short acronym for it. And we'll be looking at the definition, we'll be looking at how it works, we're looking at exploitation on this, and the scope will be covering just this category 10 alone, how attackers exploit SSFR to access internal network, infiltrate data, and bypass firewalls. The SSRF flaws occur whenever a web application is fetching a remote resource without validating user-supplied URL. It allows an attack to coerce the application to send a crafted request to an unexpected destination, even when protected by firewall, VPN, that is virtual private network, or any other type of network access control list. So this is a very serious situation because most of the times when we have firewall in place, we have VPN in place, we feel very, very secure and believe that our network is protected. The data we have within our network is protected from malicious attack or being accessed by people who have malicious intent. But with the SSRF, this can actually be penetrated. So even when we have the firewall in place, we have the VPN in place, and we have all of this network access control list in place, we can still end up having the server side forgery attack being perpetrated by the attackers. As modern web applications provide an end user with convenient features, fetching URL becomes a common scenario, and as a result, the incidence of SSRF is increasing. Also, the severity of SSRF is becoming higher due to cloud services and the complexity of the architecture. So most of these uh, issues that allows for attacker to have success in
Sorry, Mr. Amos.
SSRF can
Mr. Amos, can you hear me? Your slide is on the
yes,
only on the first slide, please. And can you,
really.
yes, and can you put it on presentation mode, please? Thank you.
It's on presentation mode from my end.
Oh, it's not here.
Okay, let me stop sharing and share again.
It is not showing from our side, only hang.
Let me stop and resharing because I'm out of the first slide.
Okay, sir.
All right, let me reshare again. Please let me know if it's coming up.
All right, we can see your screen now.
Okay,
It's
let me
okay
go to
now.
presentation mode and see if the same thing will happen. If it
Okay.
happens that way again, it means we are going to remain on this mode. All right, is it on presentation mode from your end?
No, it's not.
Oh, then let me just remove it from the presentation mode. I don't know what's actually happening, but right here I'm on presentation mode. Let me go to another slide and see. Has it changed from your end?
No, it has not.
Sir.
Okay, then I have to just go back to the normal mode. I think probably there's an issue somewhere which I cannot figure out for now. So I'm going to stop sharing so that I just remain on the normal mode. All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, so let me trace where I stopped. Okay, yeah, just like I was saying before, uh, the class stopped for me to fix the slide that wasn't showing. SSRF flaws occur whenever a web application is fetching a remote resources without validating the user supplied URL. It allows an attacker to coerce the application to send a crafted request, that is modifying a request from what it should be, to an unexpected destination, even when such destination is protected by firewall, VPN, or other types of network access control list. Now, when this happens, it's not as if the network that is being exploited has not put in place some necessary things that should be in place. It might be surprising to some of us some of you on this call, that even with the firewall, the VPN, and even having a access control list, putting in some, there's a name we call this now, some criterias that the SSRF attack can still penetrate through networks. So having the VPN in place, having the firewall in place may not be sufficient to actually prevent this from happening. Now, as modern web applications provide end users with convenient features, which allows them to fetch URL, it becomes a more common scenario that, as a result, the incidence of SSRF is increasing. Also, the severity of SSRF is becoming higher due to cloud services and the complexity of architecture. So it's becoming on a daily basis on the increase as a result of having a, please give me 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Hello, I'm in a class. Sorry for that, please. Please, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear you, sir.
please
All
go
right, all
We
right.
can hear
ahead.
you. We can hear you.
All right, thank you. All right. So now, if we want to define the term SSRF, what do we see this to be? It is when an attacker manipulates server-side requests to access unauthorized resources. Now, whenever an attacker is able to manipulate a URL and gain access to a particular network, or to have access to unauthorized data or resources, then the case of SSRF has occurred. So that is what that means. Now, do we have a real world scenario of this happening at any point? Uh, Please, I just wanted to give me 2 minutes. Uh, Let me just keep the door locked and quickly attend to something so that the class will not be interrupted. Just give me just 2 minutes, please. Yeah, so sorry. I'm back on. Let me know if you can still hear me.
We can hear you. I can hear
All
you.
right, and also confirm if my screen is still visible.
Yeah, still visible.
All right, thank you very much. So I will want us to quickly do this. Can we just go to Google and confirm the real world example. Though I think I've mentioned this in one of the class. Can someone just quickly search for the Capital One breach? It has to do with SSRF, and tell me what actually happened, what led to this, and what was the consequence after this occurred. Yes, can I get a response? Can I get a response? Very quickly, this class must end on or before 11. So you'll be doing me well so that I can cover more before that time by answering and participating whenever I needed that to be done. Yes, do we have anyone who have that? Please confirm if you are still hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Oh, all right. So what actually happened in that particular breach that occurred? What year did that happen? What was the consequence? Hello?
Is
We
anyone
are with
doing
you,
that?
sir. We are with you. We are with you. I'm with you.
Yes,
Okay.
I just requested that you do something and I want to get a
Okay, what's that?
response.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get it.
All right. Now, I mentioned having a real world example, the
Okay, sir.
situation where SSRF has occurred, and I made mention of the Capital One breach. I want someone to quickly go to Google, tell me what
I think
happened.
President, there is something like that. Maybe Bybit account was hacked and people lost a lot of money. I think something like that.
Yes, something like that. And it's also notable that they had firewall configured. They have firewall in place, and yet SSRF exploitation took place.
Yeah.
Uh, and lot of clients, lot of customers that are actually were affected. And you know, in a civilized organization, the such organization won't go scot-free. They will have to pay some damages. They will have to also do some
Yeah,
form of
legal also start happened. Some of their clients they sue them that how something with big organization like that, how will something like that happen? Because people
happen.
lost some of them. Yeah.
Yes, they lost a lot, and you know, funny
Yeah.
enough, some of them use same password, same login credential across multiple applications.
Question. Yeah.
Yes. So, and once access is gained to one, the hacker knows that some people are that careless.
Quality. Yeah.
Yeah, and will run the same kind of run that same password on multiple applications or platforms that are associated with such customers. So it was actually a case that has a very devastating effect, and
Inside inside nation.
yes, yeah, so and the organization had to pay for that. So we didn't just put this together just to have a class. We are doing this because it's something that happens in the real world, and it comes with a very great magnitude of consequence, not a pleasant one. So SSRF is a serious issue that needs to be paid attention to so that it doesn't happen in our organization. Now, how does this differ from other attacks? There are other attacks apart from SSRF. Now, how this differs from other attack is that uh, It exploits server behavior rather than the user input. Now it studies the server behavior and look for porosity, look for vulnerability, look for a way of access into the server. Another way it differs from other type of attacks is it can bypass network restriction to internal services. So this is actually a serious issue. So when you think you have some restriction in place, this SSRF can actually bypass those measures you have put in place to gain access to internal services. And when an hacker gain access to an internal service, then that particular network, that particular platform is finished, because whatever they want, they'll carry out the exploitation and ensure they leave behind a devastating effect. So I just want to be sure that I'm not speaking to myself. Are we still hearing me? Yeah,
Yes,
I hope. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So, um, yes, we have actually dealt with this. So I'm going to move on. So very quickly,
Can I ask the question, please?
yes, please do.
Please, sir, for novice, someone like us who is not really
Okay.
into all this tech, you know,
Yes.
we are novice. How do we
Yes.
protect someone's properties?
All right.
Or how do we mitigate if something like this happens? What should be the way? How can government protect us? For
All
instance, now
right.
like this stupid CBEX or something that just happened recently, even in Nigeria. Those guys, they
Yeah.
said they buy Bitcoin, transferred all their assets into Bitcoin, and that's how they were able to take those money out of the country. And once it has been converted to Bitcoin, it's only the owner that has the passphrase. If he didn't get the passphrase, there is nothing government can do about it. The money is gone.
Yeah, that's true. I know we have bodies in place that actually regulate what happens on our cyberspace, but the point is how effective are they? So that is why it boils down to every organization and individual to have extra measures put in place to protect their data, protect their network, protect their information from being accessed. Uh, Please still confirm if you can see my screen. Can you still see the slide?
Yes, I can see exploiting SSRF.
All right, okay. Now,
Nice.
because of your question, because of time, I was planning to skip the prevention, but based on your question, before we go to the ZAP application, I'll be giving us some preventive measure that we can use to prevent this. I was about skipping that just to meet up with the 11 o'clock, but I'll quickly rush us through that process. Now, prevention solely lies with uh, the developers. They can prevent it when they are implementing their coding and some of these other measures to make sure they follow some of this defensive control. The first one is from the network layer. Now, when we segment our remote resources access functionality into separate network to reduce impact of SSRF, then we'll be doing ourselves good to ensure that we don't fall victim. Number two, when we enforce deny by default, is a kind of firewall policy or network access control. So this rule will block all essential intranet traffic from being accessed or being hijacked by some of these bad elements who are out to gain access to our information and to our network. So another aspect is from the application layer. from the application layer. Now, this has to do with when we sanitize and validate all client-supplied input data. There is a need for serious validation and also sanitizing it to see, is this request coming from the right source? Should this request be allowed access to the server end? Then also, when we enforce the URL schema, the ports and destination with positive allow list. What are the things that we have programmed in our allow list? Things that are not contained in the allow list will be dropped once the request is made. So if you make a request that is outside of the allow list, the server drops it down. It's going to be dropped down. It won't gain access to the server. So these are some of the measures. Then when we also disable our HTTP redirections, this can also help us. Then another measure to this is when we don't deploy other security relevant services on the front services. For example, when we control our local traffic on three on the systems. Let me put it that way. So with this, we'll be able to actually bring about preventive measures to ensure that we prevent our network, our data, our server end from being attacked or being gained access to by an attacker. So with this, continue with what I was about doing before I digressed in order to answer your question better. So I hope I've been able to answer your question and able to give you preventive measure that you can actually use to tackle this. Hello? Hello? Can we still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Amos. Please go ahead.
Oh, all right, thank you. So I
Yes,
want
we
to
can hear you,
believe.
sir.
All right,
Yes,
thank
I can
you.
hear you.
Thanks
Yeah,
for the info.
thank you. I want to believe that by now we have some of the participants that already have their SAP application. This will be the third class I'll be having with you, and I've actually in the first class given us example and also walk us through the process of how the SAP application can be installed on our system. And I want to believe that one or two persons, or if possible, everyone, have access to the ZAP application so that we can just look into some few exercise, seeing how we can actually uh, have an hands-on demonstration on SSRF. So I want to confirm if anyone is having the ZAP application installed on their system before proceeding. We just have 20 minutes to go or thereabouts. Do we have ZAP application installed on our system? Hello? Please, are we still there?
Richard, I think you've been in this class from the cybersecurity class from the beginning. Am I correct? Can you confirm this? And you should have the ZAP application if you have been in class. Who else? Uh, Emmanuel, you should know those who are your constant students in this class. So can you identify them?
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Bade is a regular. Richard is a regular. Zainab is a regular.
So
Oh,
Richard, Zainab,
Richard
Z-
said he's connecting through phone.
oh, then who else
Or
also? Zainab?
Zainab or Bade should have that.
Zainab, are you with us? Are you here? Like present, present. Bade, are you here also? Please unmute and speak, or you can drop your chat in the chat room. Hello, well, yeah, you're from the entrepreneurship class. Okay, good. On your system, I see your chat in the chat room. So, can you respond to that? While we await that, Amos, I think we can go to your practical as well
All right.
because of time.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, It. We are going to do that. I'm going to go to the practical right away. Let them just follow through, but it's going to be much more interesting if they can actually have an answer on.
Oh,
But
yes,
because
yes.
of time, we just have to move on. All right, please confirm if you can see my ZAP application.
Not yet. We're still on your PowerPoint.
No, we can't see your
Let me
Zap.
stop. Let me stop sharing and share again. So please confirm if you can see my ZAP application.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. All right, so this is the ZAP application, and in the first class I had with you, I actually show you how we can actually explore a particular URL using the URL to explore. That is this box that my cursor is hovering on. And I also showed us how to configure this ZAP application with our web browser. And I did that using the Mozilla Firefox. And because of our time, I won't be going back into that. So I'm going to use my Mozilla instead of using the URL to explore because I've configured my Mozilla Firefox with the Zap application. And also, I would like to also remind us of this important warning that applications, I mean URL, are not to be run on the Zap application or even on Bob Suite or on any um, uh, tools that are used for vulnerability checks and the rest without express permission from the owner of the site or the URL. So that is why OWASP have actually made available some set of test URL that can be used for test. And in the last site on the chat room, can we confirm if we actually saw those URL when I posted them? Do we have them saved on our system? Zainab and who again? Can we confirm? Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you,
We
Mr.
can hear
Amos.
you.
All right. So, do we still remember those sample sites? Hello? Please, we don't have luxury of time.
Yes, Mr. Amos, I'm trying to pull some of the URLs. I'll send them to the chat box.
All right, fine. So while you're doing that, I'm going to share my whole screen so that I can navigate between Mozilla Firefox and the Zap application to make it more easy. So I'll quickly do that while you're trying to pull up some of those. Um, Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, so now I am on Mozilla. Now I will quickly go back to the Zap application. This is the Zap application. I want you to see, okay, let me just come here. To begin a new section, you click on new section. So after clicking on new section, it's going to bring up this dialog box. You can just go with no, I do not want to persist this section at this moment in time, and click start. So when you do that, we have the quick start. That is where I am, but we are not using URL to explore this time around. So coming to history, you can see that everything here is blank. Please, can you hear me? Can you see that everything under history is blank?
Yes.
Yes, and also under the site, everything is blank. So now I will go back to my Mozilla Firefox. Then I'm going to query this URL. Okay, let me pick one of the URL from a slide, from the one I use as example in the slide. So I'll go with this. So I'm going to copy this. Then I'll go straight to the Mozilla Firefox, paste it, then I'm going to query this. Now, as this is loading, I'll go back to my Zap application. Then we are going to see that this URL is being intercepted. So you can now see on the history that we now have the information of the URL. Can you see it? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, please just unmute your mic for now, provided you will not have background interference so that we can just make it interactive. So now it has been intercepted. That's why we're having the URL here showing on the history. Now coming to the site, on the site here at the right, the left hand side, right here, we are going to see site. How many of you can see the site? We have context, we have default context, then we have site. How many of you can see that? So now I will click on the site to have access to this URL. Then I'm going to see the URL. Then upon clicking on it, I'm going to see get. Now, what do we want to do? Going by our slide, what we want to do is this. Now, we want to check. Please confirm if you can see my slide.
Yes, yes, Mr. Amos, we can see your slide.
Yes. So now we want to modify this URL. We want to modify the request and send to the server and see if it is going to go through. Is that taken? So we are going to resend this request. Now going back to my application. I'm going to right click on this. Please just confirm if you can still see my screen. Then after right clicking on it, I'm going to go to open request with request editor. Open request with request editor. I'm going to click on that. Still confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
All right. So upon doing this, I want to modify this request. Then after doing that, I'm going to send it. So going back to our slide. Now after getting this, I'm going to modify a particular part of it with this information, with this particular information. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this. Now, I'm copying the whole of this request. I'm going to place it down here. Then I'm going to modify this part of it. Confirm if you can see where I have highlighted. Confirm if you can see the get
Yes, you can
HTTP.
see it, sir.
Yes. So I'm going to modify this part of it, then send the request to the server. Now, I'm going to do that with this image equal to HTTP, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to take it to this part of the request. I'm going to replace it with this. So I'm going to send a request. So I'm getting the response 200, which is okay. Then I'm also getting information about the server. Can we see that under the response? Now let me go back. This is the request. This is the original request, how it ought to be. Down here is the one I've modified maliciously. Then this is the response I receive. Now it's giving me the information about the server, it's giving me the date which this occur, and it's also giving me more information about the OS and other information that the server is running on. So with this information, I can probe further to see how I can further get access to the server end of this particular website and have access to information I should not be having access to. Is that taken? Now, coming back here also, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, so I can also come to the alert tab here to get more information about certain alerts were raised, and this alert gives me information. Upon clicking on each of them, because of our time, we will not be able to go into much of those information, but it's going to give you the description of the issue. It's going to give you solution. Ensure that your web server, application server, load balancer, etc. is configured to set the content security policy harder. So it's going to give me what's needed to be done to correct this from happening again. So if you click on each of these alerts that has been raised, you keep getting information on what to do. Is that taking? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so let me see if we can quickly see another example. I'm going to be sending the slide to Madam Edith, so you can actually have access to it. Because of our time, we'll not be able to cover everything. So now let's see if we can quickly do another one before we go. So still on the ZAP application, I'm going to be using now this URL for the second example. I want to be, okay, now let me go back to my Mozilla Firefox. I'm going to query this URL. All right, please give me 1 minute so that we have a clean job. I am going to close this. Then I'm also going to start a fresh section. So you are going to notice that upon starting a fresh section, all the information we have down here in the history, in the alert, everything will go off. So I'm going to start a fresh section so that we don't have, so that we can have a clean job. So you can see that all of those information are gone. The history tab is empty. So I'm going to query this new URL, the testing URL that I'm going to be using. So upon doing that, if we go back to our ZAP application, you discover that the traffic will be intercepted. It's still loading. All right, it's up. So you can see that the URL has been captured. It has been intercepted. Then if you also go to, if you go to the site, you're going to get information on the site. So what are we doing next? What we are doing now is to go to the ZAP application. We're going to right click on our request, then on attack, then we fuse. We are going to fuse. Now, we are just going to right click on this. We go to attack. From our attack, we go to our fuse. Now, from our fuse, we click on the get. Then when you click on the get, you go to the hard. Then when you go to the hard, you can put a custom fuser. Then I'm going to get that from the slide. I'm going to get that from the slide. So I'm going to add all of this. Now I would have used one of this function, but the one that has to do with the SSRF is not here. Probably there are some updates I need to do. I would have done that. So, but because it's not here, if it is here, there's an option that gives us the SSRF option for us to fuse. But since we don't have that, we're just going to use this custom. We are going to use the custom one to add in our, so we're going to paste it here, then click on add, click on OK, then we are going to start our fuser. So now, ordinarily, if appropriate security measure is put in place, the fusing is completed 100%. We are not even supposed to get any information in the first place. But now we are getting an information giving us a bad gateway. Now, if we click on the alert on this, we are going to see that some information also will be fetched, which we can actually probe further to get more information on the vulnerability that has to do with the SSRF of this particular application. So because of our time, I won't be able to go to the third one, but the third one actually has to do with using the active scanning the active scanner to carry out scan and to scan for the policy that has to do with SSRF to know if they are in place, then looking at the alerts to gain more insight on if the right measures are put in place to prevent the SSRF attack from happening. So in wanting to keep to the time, with this, we'll be stopping this class at this point. And I will be sending the slide across to Madam Edith so that we can go through it, and with that we'll be able to run some of these things on our own and gain more insight on how to prevent against SSRF and how to also test for that using the ZAP application. So on this point, Madam Edith, I'll be handing over to you. Please, you can maybe instructor because I learned the time for that is 11. So, and this is just 3 minutes past 11. So I'll be rounding up my class at this point. And Edith, please, over to you. Please, you can carry on at this point.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amos. The cybersecurity students, you'll be getting the slides and the recording subsequently. So, thank you so much, sir. It was a great session.